Welcome to Knockhill Racing Circuit for the second round of the Scottish Sports and Saloons Championship. And behind me, as ever, you can see a huge amount of cars, huge power. It's Ron Cumming on pole position in the Clubman car, and we've also got the Mini Coopers mixing in the championship as well. I'll hand it to Richard, and he'll take us through their first race of the day.
Thanks, Joe. Some very welcome returnees here to Scottish racing. Ron Cumming on pole position with Robert Drummond, then Kenneth McKell and Thompson McIntyre, Finlay Crocker and Andrew Morrison on row 3. Gary Waite and William Robson, followed by Lance Gold and Ollie Mortimer. Graham Robertson from Scott Tollan. Then it's Colin Simpson and Danny Dreelan in the Mini. Jock Borthwick in the third of the Minis. Andrew Patterson completing the grid. I was talking about returnees, Ron Cumming and Lance Gold. Superb to see them on the grid. And we'll talk more about both of those drivers later on in the race, because the lights are about to go off. A long wait by the race officials. Ron Cumming in the Nemesis kit car leads away from pole position. Big battle going on for second. Coming through is Kenneth McKell in the Class A1 Mitsubishi Evo. There is the Porsche Cayman of Lance Gold. You might remember him racing in Legends. I think that's where the most times we've seen him in coverage. So a good start, an eclectic field. I think 10 different marques represented on this grid. And just look at that, you've got Mini chased by Marcus, BMW, Fords. Superb stuff. And the Nemesis kit car, the Class A3 car of Ron Cumming, out front at the moment. And looking to convert the pole position into a win. Ron, who is a UK racing legend, never mind a Scottish legend. There in car number 8 is Finlay Crocker. Good to see him back as well, the man from Bathgate in the Honda Civic TCR. Ron Cumming, who, looking through the record books for Scottish racing, was runner-up in Formula Libre here back in 1996, so we're talking a good way back. Gary Waite getting stuck in there. There is Colin Simpson, and well, we'll talk about Ron Cumming when we see him, I guess, is the sensible thing to do. Gary Waite running well. There, though, is Colin Simpson, the man from Dundee, in the 5-litre Class A2 car. And first outing of the season for Colin. We see him dipping in and out. And a bigger entry this weekend, so 2 more than we had in the opening race of the first weekend. And they look absolutely fantastic. You have to agree. The Mantis, going down on the inside line, makes the pass very neatly past Thompson McIntyre. Thompson running, of course, in Class B1. A quick reminder that the A-Class car's running on the slick racing tyres, and the B-Class car's running on the tread, so they're not going to quite go as quickly. Colin Simpson qualified down in 13th place, so he's starting to make some moves through the field. Robert Drummond is there in the 29 car, the man who won both races outright at the first meeting of the year. He's followed by Kenneth McKell in the Mitsubishi Evo 8. Those marques represented, incidentally: Nemesis, Ford, Mitsubishi, Subaru, Honda, Seat, Porsche, Mini, Marcos and BMW. Here's Ron Cumming. Now, I mentioned he raced he was Formula Ecosse champion here in 1997, and that year racing a March 832, which was an F3000 car at the time, probably only from 5 or 6 years prior to when he raced it. And when he raced in Formula Libre in a Reynard 90, a Footwork FA13, that was the Footwork that he raced in 96, was only a 4-year-old Formula 1 car. So that puts into perspective the sorts of things we used to see from Ron Cumming. There in 54 is Andrew Morrison, the man from Stirling, and Gary Waite gets a big sideways moment on. It's not drifting this weekend, Gary. He's chasing hard. Gary Waite in the 59. Didn't see him in action in the first round, so he's racing in Class A2. Space developing between those two, but Ron Cumming out front still at the moment, with Kenneth McKell in second place. Robert Drummond looking for an overall podium as well. Blue flags being waved to the Mini contingent as Ron Cumming goes through on the inside. Ron certainly not taking any prisoners, lost none of his old sparkle at all. Really absolutely thrilling for the crowds to see that. When you get the multi-class racing, it's really good to see the guys make their way through. That's Danny Dreelan, incidentally, in the R53 Mini Cooper, and I just love Ollie Mortimer's enthusiasm about getting this started as a standalone formula. I hope that they can get the runners and it doesn't detract from the Celtic Speed Scottish Mini Cooper Cup who are running the standard cars. It would be great to see that formula running, but of course there are only so many drivers that we can use. Little puff of smoke out of Ron's car. How often do we see in the Scottish Saloon and Sports Cars Championship extremely quick and powerful but sometimes fragile cars go off into a big lead and then have a mechanical problem which loses it? It's not always the quickest car that wins the race. You have to be quick, but you have to have reliability, and sometimes the extra engineering goes into these cars can cause a little bit of a problem. Not putting the mockers on Ron Cumming at all, hopefully. There we pick up on Robert Drummond. Look at that flame out here. Again, this is why the crowds love this. The multitude of cars. They like seeing the skill of the drivers at the sharp end going through the field. They also like to see the interclass battles with the minis. We haven't got an interclass battle with the mini going on at the moment, as they look fairly settled. And Ollie Mortimer leading class on his way to yet another win. Ollie probably won't really want to count that. There is Ollie in the number 70 car being passed by Robert Drummond. So Robert on his way possibly to a championship. He can keep the reliability going on that 29 car, running second in class at the moment after the 2 outright wins. Kenneth McKell in 37 had 2 second places at the first event of the year. So competition, I think, between those two going to be fast and furious this year over the course of the season. 7 weekends, of course, that we race. The next one on the 4th of June, then we're back here in July. We've got 20th of August, 10th of September, the 8th of October for the finale. We'll have a lot of drivers, as we've said before, that will dip in and out of this championship over the course of the year, but also we'll have a core of regular drivers that will get involved as well. Drummond not that far away at the moment from Ron Cumming, so this potentially, I'm wondering if this is going to close up. We are heading towards the closing stages of the race. Drummond chasing hard. Super to see the mix of cars, with the Nemesis kit car being chased by the Escort. Andrew Patterson there in the BMW being passed, running in class B3, and I think was the lone B3 runner in the first meeting of the year. Oh, the problem there! Spinning second place away is Robert Drummond. He's on the grass. Well, has he spun it away? He's managed to rejoin. Drummond rejoins in the 29 car, and Kenneth McKell in the Mitsubishi, the black-bonneted Mitsubishi, is closing up. Is he going to get close enough to nab second position? Ron Cumming is going to take the win. What a return for Ron Cumming. Absolutely superb to see, and he'll be looking to do it again in race number 2. I hope he can be enticed back again to contest this championship. The Class A3 car, the lone A3 runner, takes the checkered flag. Kenneth McKell in the background has gone into second. It's going to be a sprint to the flag. Andrew Patterson keeps out of the way. Kenneth McKell takes the Class A1 win and second position overall. Colin Simpson there in the blue Mantis takes 4th position. A great drive by Colin Simpson, who wins Class A2 from Andrew Morrison and Gary Waite, finishing 3rd in class. Here's the result: Cumming, McKell, Drummond, Simpson, Morrison, Waite. William Robson next from Lance Gold, then Ollie Mortimer and Danny Dreelan in 10th place. 11th goes to Jock Borthwick, Scott Tollan and Andrew Patterson completing the finishes.
Ron, welcome back to Knockhill and straight back to winning ways from pole position, making it look almost easy.
Yeah, it was quite a good race actually. Like, Robert kept me quite honest, and I was taking it easy, but had a little problem with the car. But the main thing for me is it's great to be back here at Knockhill, you know, and there's life in an old dog yet.
And look at the weather as well.
The weather, absolutely fabulous. I think you must have organised that for us, Joe.
Especially for you, well done.
Thank you very much, thanks, and it's glad to be here again.
Ollie Mortimer, how many mini races that you've won now in your entire life?
I have no idea, Joe.
Probably in the hundreds.
Not as many as you.
Oh, you cheeky thing. These Coopers look great. The slick tyres, are desperate to have a go at them. As much fun as they look.
Yeah, they're absolutely. I mean, you know how much fun a Cooper is. Value for money, brilliant fun. The Cooper S just takes it to a whole new level. I mean, they're absolutely got the even more corner excitement because of the slick tyres. You can carry more speed. The straights, they've got about 90 to 80 horsepower more. It's just brilliant all rounder, you know. And you've got the 6-speed gearbox, so it's closer ratios. I think a good grid of these would be an absolute fantastic championship. So there's a couple more cars getting built just now. That's the only thing it's missing is pure numbers of cars. But it's only a second round, and there's 3 cars there, 3 cars went out, 3 finished. So I'm quite happy with that.
I think it would be great to see a full grid of them out there. I mean, I'd come back and race in that easily. Maybe we could get Kenny Thurwell back like the good old days.
Yeah, guaranteed. I mean, they've just ended up having faster accidents this time, wouldn't they? But definitely. I'd love to see you guys out in these cars. Like I said, they're not that much more expensive to run and maintain and build, so I think it's a no-brainer to me.
Well done, Ollie.
Thanks a lot.
Scottish Sports and Saloons race number 2 ready to go. It's slightly more overcast, but still good conditions for racing. And it's Robert Drummond back on pole position. Let's see if he can do it again. I'll hand it to Richard and he'll take us through the action.
Ron Cummings starting on pole position with Kenneth McKell alongside Robert Drummond in P3. Colin Simpson next from Andrew Morrison and Gary Waite, then William Robson and Lance Gold. Ollie Mortimer and Danny Dreelan on row 5, followed by Jock Borthwick, Scott Tollan, Andrew Patterson and Thompson McIntyre, Graham Robertson and Finlay Crocker will complete the grid, although there are a couple of drivers missing, sadly. And it's Andrew Patterson at the back of the field there. We wait for the lights to go on. Ron Cumming looking to make it 2 out of 2 in the Nemesis kit car. Alongside is Kenneth McKell. It's a good start from both of them. Even better start maybe from third place car of Robert Drummond, whose challenges for second position and more importantly Class A1 lead going down into Scotsman, or down Duffers Dip and in towards Scotsman Corner. So Drummond, great job, gets that second position back. Second position that he lost on lap number 1, the last lap, sorry, of race number 1. There is Lance Gold in 23 in the 3.4 litre Cayman. Let's hope that he comes back out and plays a few more times. Kenneth McKell is third on the road, second position of course in Class 1. We have to keep our eyes on the respective class battles over the course of the race. Ron Cumming out front, he's the lone Class A3 car, but it sounded like he very much enjoyed race number 1. Coming away in the distance, super conditions here once again for race number 2, race 4 of the 2017 campaign. And as I mentioned in race number 1, it is about winning class, but it's also very much about reliability and keeping the car going. There is 54, former champion Andrew Morrison, 2014 champion of course Andrew. He's chased by Lance Gold at the moment. Morrison running in Class A2, so in actual fact that's the battle for the lead of Class A2. No, it isn't, because we've got Gary Waite ahead of them. Keep your eyes peeled for Gary. There he is, back end. So Gary Waite leading Class A2 at the moment. We've also got the Ford Focus RS. That's a B-class car, the 2.5 litre Focus running in Class B1. William Robson punching above his weight, but coming under a little bit of pressure there from Andrew Morrison, who goes through on the inside line. Morrison goes through into 5th position. 4th is Gary Waite. It does give Morrison a clear run to try and hunt down on Gary Waite though at the moment. So in terms of non-starters for this one, sadly Colin Simpson, Thompson McIntyre, last year's B1 champion, not starting this one. Graham Robertson not starting, and neither has Finlay Crocker. So a little bit down on numbers in this one. The overall entry for the meeting, as we said, up on the April one. A fine selection of cars racing out. Good race on the minis, and at the moment Jock Borthwick having the upper hand over Danny Dreelan, although Dreelan was looking down the inside there going into Clark. So the minis already giving us some great racing, and I'm sure, as you heard Ollie Mortimer say at the end of race number 1, there are more cars being built and they will grow as a class here, and if it takes off as the BMW Championship did a couple of years ago, they might be running their own races very soon. That's Gold gives chase. We've got immediately in behind Ollie Mortimer. Here is the view from Kenneth McKell, very much taking the chase at the moment to Robert Drummond. So Drummond, Class A1 champion back in 2013. sun in the eyes as they head uphill in towards Clark and then down through Hislops. At the moment, it does look as if the man who had the pace throughout the majority of race number 1 in class, Robert Drummond, is going to hold on to this. Down in towards the hairpin they go. Ron Cummings still out front. Ron set the fastest lap in race number 1 of the weekend, a 52.902, and has so far eclipsed that. So Ron Cumming getting back into a Knockhill groove very much. There is Robert Drummond, so second position for him, but now being caught by Kenneth McCall, and I think he's got a problem. It looks as though Robert Drummond, who loses the class lead, now it's got to be some sort of mechanical problem. He's still going round. I suspect that car is going to continue into the pits. Brake lights on, and it's Kenneth McCall that takes the class lead here. So the 37 car, running in class A1, is going to bag another class win here as long as he gets it to the finish. So very bad news indeed for Robert Drummond, who has 2 wins and a second place to his credit so far in class A1. I think we only have those 2 runners. Oh no, Scott Tollan is running in A1 as well, so it'll be maximum points in class for class A1, because the points issued in the championship are based on the number of starters, and you get more points basically if there are more than 3 starters in each class, which means that to win the championship, and sadly there is the retirement of Robert Drummond. So we did say reliability is key. There aren't any drop scores in the championship. Scott Tollan's had a visit. We've got Jock Borthwick in the pit lane as well. So the pit lane, sadly, a hive of activity at the moment as we pick up again with Kenneth McCall in 37. It's Ron Cumming leading in Class A3 and overall the 2-litre Nemesis kit car, with Kenneth McCall in second place. Scott Tollan there in the Escort immediately behind. He's back on track now after the diagnostics in the pit lane. Here is the second place car, the Mitsubishi Evo 8 of Kenneth McCall. His results started to look very good now. Second overall in both races in April. 2 class wins on the cards for this weekend. Scott Tollan is a little way adrift with that pit visit. I'm not sure if he's going to be classified. Took 3rd in class in round 3, our first race of this meeting, and 2 retirements for Scott Tollan, who is the reigning Class A1 champion, remember, from 2016. So not panning out the way he would want. Andrew Morrison running well. Morrison is leading Class A2. So the Seat of the former champion running well, and Morrison, who bagged 2 class wins at round 1, so perhaps the Stirling-based driver, if he can keep the reliability going and bang in some more of those class wins as well, could well be looking at regaining the championship title, albeit in a different class, and I think might well be, if he could do that, the first driver to, if he could take the overall championship, first driver to do so in different classes. So we might see a little bit of Scottish racing history in the making there. Far too early to talk though, because this is only meeting 2 of the 7 this year, and he's still running well at the moment. Andrew Morrison goes up and over the brow. Morrison with Gary Waite and Lance Gold as competition. Finley Crocker not in this one, but with 3 starters it will still be maximum points for the 54 machine if he can get it through to the finish. The Seat behaving itself at the moment, rides the curb, spectacular of course to watch, but in terms of on-track competition at the moment, no battles in prospect for Morrison, who continues on his way here. Down in towards the tri-oval section. Morrison, best lap so far of the race for Andrew is a 55.126. All the drivers that are running, pretty much their best laps equate to where they are in track position. This man with the fastest lap, Ron Cumming, who looks like he's going to make it a double this weekend. Andrew Patterson immediately in front, and again Andrew has seen, as Ron Cumming goes on to the last lap, has seen that Ron Cumming was on his way, moves across. Great sporting driving from Andrew Patterson, and it looks like it's going to be a double for the legend that is Rod Cumming here. Really good to see him back, and I hope that we're going to see a little bit more of him in future rounds as well. It is a lone Class B3, a lone Class A3 car, and the only A3 car we've seen thus far this season, but he'd be very welcome back. And we did see in race number 1 that Robert Drummond wasn't that far behind him in race number 1, so given returning to form, hopefully for Robert Drummond next time, we might see potentially a race in our June meeting. But Rod Cumming is out front and is going to take a second overall win. He took pole position, fastest lap in race number 1. Gary Waite is the driver immediately ahead of him. Gary running in 6th place and 3rd position in Class A2. But it's Rod Cumming that makes it a double this weekend. Andrew Patterson going across the line now. He's going to be classified in 9th, and he's the lone Class B3 runner. Ollie Mortimer grabs another win in the R53s, this time from Danny Dreelan. Danny, having seen off Jock Borthwick, who we saw in the pits earlier on. Jock, one of the retirees from the race. And Kenneth McKell takes 2nd position. Andrew Morrison is 3rd. So it's Rod Cumming that wins overall an A3. A1 wins Kenneth McKell, A2 to Andrew Robinson, B1 to William Robson, and then Lance Gold from Gary Waite and Ollie Mortimer. Following Ollie, it was Danny Dreelan and Andrew Patterson completing the finishes.
Ron, welcome back again, second time today. This has been a pretty successful return to racing.
Yeah, it's putting a smile on my face, that's for sure. Yeah.
Doesn't get much better there, not that much pressure either.
No, but it's still competitive, you know. I mean, the guys are putting, keeping pressure, keeping me honest, you know, like the things that you can't relax because these big power cars can certainly catch you, like, you know.
Well done. Are we going to see you back next time?
For sure, like, for sure. But a wee message here, like, 220 brake horse, that's all that little car of mine has. So it's quick, and that's what you want to go motor racing.
Well done.
Thank you.
Andrew, well done. A great result for yourself and the lovely looking Seat. I love that thing there. I need to get a shot of that one day for sure.
I don't think that's Joe. You're probably quicker than me in it. So, but no, it was good fun out there. With some good dices to start with. Managed to get a wee bit of clean air in front of us, and then it was just trying to make sure we didn't make any mistakes. But to be fair, I don't think we're really catching the boys in front. Caught Kenneth a wee bit just towards the end, but I kind of feel he was maybe easing off a bit. But at the end of the day, thoroughly enjoyed the race.
Well done.
Thanks, Joe.
Ollie, well done. Yet another win. We didn't expect anything else. This championship's already in the bag for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a testing year really to try and get when all the Reeds and whoever you want, Paul Wilson's and all that, jump into the championship. I've got a wee bit of head start.
It's Paul Wilson, former mini champion. He is building one of these, is that right?
Yeah, he's building the car just now, so I'm going to give him a wee hand away, but I'll not tell him all.
I didn't build it too well.
No. But the car was great this weekend. Thanks to the Jolly Restaurant, my biggest and longest sponsor, and also thanks to my parents, my mum and dad, Jane and Glenn, just for their support and their help with the car. It's been great.
Well done, Ollie.
Thanks a lot.
And with that brings the racing to a close for today from the Sports and Saloons. But as ever, fantastic racing all day long. Make sure you tune in next time for more of the same.